Okay, so I am super excited today. This is one of the things that I love talking about. It's so important to know who you are, what you bring to the table, what your gifts, your strengths, all that archetype work that really helps you build a business that you love and only you can create. But the reality is, we got to get you going, right? The world's looking for what you have to offer, but you're going to have to show up. So today is all about from archetypes to action, inspired action, that action that helps you cut through the noise. Because the reality is, in a horse facilitated business, you either cut through the noise or you are the noise. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is how do we help you build that business? How do you clarify that piece that only you can bring forward and only you can create? So you can really empower people and, fill your facility and start to move you from this place of thinking about having a horse facilitated business, maybe having a small horse facilitated business, to filling your calendar and moving you from passion to profit. So from archetypes to inspired action, building your business that only you can create. Because here's the thing, there's a level beyond success, and it's called significance. So your impact starts here. Today is about turning insight into impact. So each of you work with horses because a horse changed their life. It was in those, kind of often unexplainable yet always undeniable piece that happened between horse and human. And so it's about turning that flash, that insight, that piece that to actual impact. Because here's the thing is, good enough's good enough. At some point, you got to get started. You got to get yourself out there. And you might be saying, oh, Tamara, I got started 5 years ago. But I guarantee you're not at level of impact, building a unique to you business that the world's looking for. And so knowledge at some point can be a crutch. And so you've uncovered your archetypes, right? Those pieces of zoom in far enough, you're the best in the world at something. Those belief patterns, those pieces running your life, your gifts, your strengths, the best part of you, and honestly, your blind side as well. And so knowing those archetypes, knowing of those 8 archetypes, your top 3 is really the key to the fuel in your tank, that fire in your belly, that's going to allow you to build a business that resonates with you, that's easy for you, that creates the, growth, impact, transformation, change, calmness, peace in the world, and with your clients you're looking for. So it's time to use it, right? You've named your genius. And so what's the genius? The genius is that spark that only you can create. When you bring that you're the best in the world at, and you put your unique spark to it, that's where the crossroad happens, and that's where impact happens. And so no more waiting for clarity. Clarity will come as you move through Wildly Unbridled. More clarity will come, and it'll come, and it'll come. And so just reminding yourself, it's presence over perfection. It's time to move forward. And let's create momentum and really find that momentum that's built for you. And so anchoring your genius, really, really important that we find that place where in your work you're anchored to, that you know your genius, you know that you're the only person that can bring forth this work, that piece that's so often easy to you and only you can create it because it's you, right? And it's because of who you are. So your archetypes show you the fuel. So think about your archetypes, your gifts, your strengths, your best in the world at, and your blind side as the fuel in your tank, the energy behind your drive, right? So if, as an example, if you're a connector, connectors run on belonging and shared growth. That's the piece that when they build a business around that belonging, that thriving place, they can move forward. A maverick runs on truth, rebellion. There's a risk is essential for maverick. So if that's you, the nurture, care, protection, you illuminate that safe space for people. Okay, so your archetypes show you the fuel. Your genius, fire. So that archetypes again is your gifts, your strengths, that maybe that shadow side, that piece of that filling tank, or again where it's taken away from your tank. But the genius is your spark that only you can create. That piece that when you show up leaned into that top level, that again, level beyond success, that best of the best of you, you could do it all day long. The right people are in front of you. You're bringing forth the piece that you're really here to bring. You fill your calendar naturally. And so it's about what lights you up, and it's about what moves others. And so your business lives at that crossroad, that intersection of your gifts, your strengths, your archetypes, your best in the world, mixed with that spark that only you can bring. And so this is about anchoring that piece, really getting clear on what that piece means. And so as we do this exercise, first off, I want you to grab a pen and paper, okay? So whether you're brand new and you're just ready to step over the threshold, whether you've been Wildly Unbridled and this is your fourth, fifth, sixth time around, let's lean into this work because again, it's progress over perfection, right? Presence over perfection. And really good enough's good enough. Time to get out there so we can start helping you cut through the noise so you can start bringing in the clients that you can truly affect change with. And so the exercise is when I bring my, and so that's archetype gifts, right? The best of you. And so if you've leaned into the sacred archetypes, you might be a nurturer. And so an example would be when I bring my nurturer heart to the people that are healing through heavy emotions, I create space with horses where they can soften, be held, and rebuilt from the inside out. Now, you have to have those gifts, right? You have to have the nurturer gifts, and not everybody does, and that's fabulous. This is about you are uniquely you, and that's your superpower, okay? So maybe you're a ruler, okay? And so leadership skills. And so when I bring my ruler leadership to the people who want to build something meaningful with horses, I create clear strategic momentum that they can lead with vision, confidence. Okay, so again, this is just examples, right? So for you, and hopefully you have that tool and that ticket of the archetypes under your belt, that you're using that, because that's the whole basis of Wildly Unbridled is, those gifts, those strengths, those pieces that when you bring those forward, not only does your business become easy, your calendar fills, you move very simply from passion into profit because you're bringing the best of you and you're bringing that piece to the world that the world needs. So maybe you're maverick. Mavericks are a ton of fun and they really illuminate that risk is essential. And so when I bring my maverick truth to the world who are tired of doing things the right way, I create wild horse spaces that honor freedom, rebellion, and unapologetic transformation. So this isn't about words. Words don't teach. This is about that anchor of who you are when you show up. For me, it's when I bring that visionary piece of me to the people that are ready for growth. I create an empire where people thrive, and people are really truly be able to build their business. So that's my anchor and my genius and what I'm great at. And so, in the comments, either in the Slack channel or down below here in YouTube, make sure that you get that in there. Like, take the time to do the work. It's, this is the work. When you build the foundation, your calendar fills. That's the reality. And so designing your offer from the inside out. Okay. So what do your clients need and what do you love to deliver? This one's huge. What do your clients need? What do your clients need? And what do you love to deliver? So there are two sides to that. Number one is really knowing you. What is it you love? What feels natural and powerful to you? Okay. In horse facilitated work, cookie cutter doesn't work. Trying to build this business like everybody else tells you to will never work. And so what do you love to deliver? Okay. Is it, group session? Is it transformation and growth? Is it calm and peace? Connection? Is it, teaching that the rules are fake? Again, what is your gifts and strengths? This is not making this up and pulling it out of thin air. For me, it's helping love to deliver this place of worth and leadership and confidence and stepping into that place where we can take ownership and again, build a business that we're thriving in. But what is it for you? And then number two, what do your clients need? And so often we can come up with this grandiose scheme that we're excited about or someone else gets us excited about. But there's got to be a need out there in the world. So number one is what do your clients need? And number two, what do you love to deliver? And they both have to, step in. It can't be one or the other. It can't just be what you love and it can't just be what they need. You got to find that crossroads of archetypes, gifts, strengths, aware of that shadow side, that cross with that genius, that spark that only you can bring. Okay. So it's about building offers in your horse facilitated business that number one, solve a real problem. Not something you want to dance around, but that real problem. So I talk a lot about money, and this reminds me of it. And the thing with money and value and saying, well, the barn down the road charges $40. Well, guess what? I charge $150. Teaching someone how to ride a horse. So the promise to teach someone how to ride a horse and the promise that I bring of transformation and change are two very different promises. Okay. But you got to solve a real problem. The offer needs to come naturally through your archetype strengths. Okay. So again, if you haven't dived in Wildly Unbridled yet, and that's really the basis of Wildly Unbridled, is our gifts, our strengths matched at that intersection of our zone of genius. Okay. And so they come naturally to you. It should be that thing that when you step out into your pasture, it's the thing that you go, oh yeah, that's just what I do. I'm just good at that, and maybe it's creating safe spaces. Maybe it's connection. Maybe it, inspiration. It could be so many different things. What's yours? And so it should be natural to you. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's natural. It's that thing, pardon me, at the day that I'm really good at doing. And it should reflect how you like to work. Okay. And so it's looking at, do you like group work? Do you like soul-led one-to-one work? Do you like to work long-term? It's like, what is that place where you could step into your pasture every single time and continue to do this incredible work because it solves a problem. There's a need. You love delivering. It comes natural to you and it reflects how you love to work. Okay. And so let's give you a little bit of framework. Okay. So this is about aligned offers. And the thing about aligned offers is that they're aligned to you, that place where you can continue to keep showing up. And so giving you a framework so it's like everything, everywhere you go, there you are. This is what I do. Okay. So make sure you grab a pen here. So number one, who's it for? Who are these people that you want to work with? Okay. So maybe you're a connector again, if you're working in our program. And so with a connector, it could be, I like to work with people who feel disconnected. They're longing for meaningful connection. Okay. That could be a really good one. If you're an alchemist, maybe it's people who feel stuck, lost, or they're in deep transition in their life, right? That's the people I want to work with. They're at a crux. They don't know what's next. And you're the catalyst, right? That's your program. That's who it's for. Maybe it's for people who, maybe you're an accumulator, and it's for people who really crave structure, right? That step-by-step structure and alignment and kind of setting an alignment path in every area of their life, okay? Could be for visionaries, for facilitators, for people in leadership roles who feel like they have too much pressure on their shoulder, women ready to be seen and take center stage, right? If you're a celebrity and you really want to work with, celebrity people, and again, I'm not talking about celebrities in the world, but a celebrity archetype, that's your gifts, your strengths, that how to be seen and share that with others. Women ready to be seen, right? It could be people craving joy and peace and calm in their life. So who is it for? And again, needs to relate to your gifts, your strengths, that best part of you when you truly show up that you can bring to the world. Number two, what is the problem that it solves? Not the problem you wanted to solve. What's the problem in the world with the clients? And what's the need out there? If you don't like the word problem, what's the need that it solves? Okay. And so it could be, again, back to that celebrity archetype. It could be it's women ready to be seen, center stage in their business, to take ownership of their life is who it's for. The problem that it solves is fear of visibility, self-doubt. I'm not good enough. I've got dimming my brilliance. Okay. So again, these are just ideas. What is it for you? If you're a strong romantic type, so women craving joy, beauty, self-awareness would be who it's for. What problem does it solve? Feeling burnt out, disconnected from pleasure, knocking the old self-worth. And so again, so many of these pieces. So get it jotted down. If you're in Wildly Unbridled, this will be in module 1. So Zone of Genius and archetype work. It'll also be seen in module 5 under You Are the Niche. Okay. And let's do one more, connector. So for someone feeling disconnected, longing for a meaningful connection. So what problem does it solve? Feeling isolated. This is a huge one in the world, right? Feeling isolated, emotionally guarded. Maybe you've got a parent who's in parenting and now they're hitting their, mid 40s or something, and all of a sudden the kids are gone and they're going, oh my goodness, I've been isolated. I've really been isolated in my own world. I'm socially unfulfilled. Okay. So the problem that it solves. Number 3 is, how do you solve it in your own unique way? This is that crossroads of your archetype, so your strengths and that genius, that spark. You're the only one who can spark that up, right? And so how do you solve it in your own unique way? We go back to that connector piece. could be weekly herd-based group work, and again, you'd have a great name. And what is that about? The solid core of that is people who have a need for connection. And so herd-based connection could be partnered horse exercises. It could be, again, some sort of a connection ritual that you're doing every week. So what is it unique to you, again, based on what you've learned, who you are? Maybe it's the alchemist, and it's for people who feel stuck, lost in deep transition, pardon me, solves lack of direction, identity crisis, kind of all of those pieces. But it's horse facilitated identity reinvention, right? Who am I? Getting that mirror with horses, who am I? Could be your problem solving. It could be deep dives. It could be archetype-based journaling with horses. What is the piece for you? Again, I'm not an alchemist, so those aren't my pieces, but what are the pieces for you? Maybe you're a ruler, and your pieces is, lack of systems. It's how do you solve it? Strategic business coaching with the herd. It could be group model expansion, horse-powered leadership work, corporate work. What is the piece you're good at? Not the piece you want to be good at, the piece that you solve. Okay. Maybe you're a romantic, and it's about presence work, horse facilitated presence work, right? Maybe it's self-care integration with that work. So how do you personally solve it based on who you are? Based on pieces you're the best in the world at. And I guarantee they're there. There's many of them. And the experience. So when someone comes to you, you're creating this container, this anchored place from who you are and who you can best serve and how you can build the business. What is the experience? Okay. So if you're romantic and you're wanting to work with people, again, in that romantic, so women craving joy, for example, beauty, some reconnection in their life, you might describe it as soul nourishing. You might describe it as luxurious or, peaceful. What's that feeling when someone comes? Because here's the thing, this is about marketing. This is about being so clear on what you do, who you can help, how you personally solve it, and what the people get out of this. In marketing, you either are the noise or you cut through the noise. If your calendar is not full, I don't care how long you've been in this business, if your calendar is not full, you are the noise in horse facilitated development. What a shame when you have these incredible gifts and strengths that you are contributing to the noise in the world when you could cut through the noise. Okay. So it's like you are the problem or you're the solution, and it's choosing that. So what is the tone? The tone in my facility, because it's very high risk setting, is transformation results. We lean into that place of tangible results, finding a root cause, tearing that out. The horses crack it open every single time, but the horses also put it back together. But that's what we do. Everybody is different. What's the tone in yours? If you're a nurturer, what is that piece? What do people feel? Is it a safe, trauma informed? Is it steady? Is it emotional restoration? Is that what they feel? Is it, are you a connector? Is it safe, warm, regulated, peer-to-peer support? Is that the feeling? If you're an accumulator, maybe it's grounded, it's confidence building, it's so slow paced, but it's steady. What is that piece for you? Our rulers, driven, clear, fast forward, marketable, targetable. Okay. What's the tone, the vibe, the structure that someone can feel? Again, this is bringing it through to marketing. So you can start cutting through the noise and filling that calendar. And what do you promise? Okay. And so I have the word transformation, but that's not the word for everybody. And so for me, it's tangible transformation and growth. It's very, very clear. Coming in, finding a root cause, transformation and growth. The herd pulls it out every single time. But for other people, is it a space of alignment? That's what you promise. Because people get nervous about this piece of promise, but I'll stand behind it all day long. Again, it's that value you bring. What is the promise that you, in your unique way, the person that can bring this to that level? And I guarantee it's there. So what are you promising? So for me, tangible steps, tangible results, tangible growth. Okay. But what is it for you? Maybe it's a return to joy. Maybe it's self-expression. Maybe it's the next step. Maybe it's long-term growth, a legacy you can be proud of. Maybe it's connection, peace, joy. I don't know what it is, but this is your program. Okay. And so who's it for? What serious problem in the world? I don't mean serious like it's a big deal. Like seriously, this is a problem that your clients have. Okay. You got to love to do it. But how are you solving it for them? What's the experience that they can have? And what is the promise that you're giving them? Okay. A confused mind can't make a decision. In your facility, all roads need to lead to one or two things. And my suggestion is one. No one leaves my facility after a meet the herd and doesn't join, and in some capacity when the offer's given. Why? Because in my world, all roads lead to Wildly Unbridled. And so whether it's Wildly Unbridled, where I'm coaching with facilitators, or whether it's not Wildly, pardon me, Unbridled is my in my facility. And so that's the program. Now that program could look like a group if that's what's going to be best for them. It could look like a one-on-one. And it could look like a 6 to 8 week program. Generally, we're one-on-one, but it's knowing these pieces, because why do people in facility join? Well, number one, they came to meet the herd. This is experiential work. And so in that meet the herd, they got to experience the power of the horse-human connection. But number two, there's no, well, you could do this, you could do that, you could do whatever. It's this is our program, this is the experience, and this is what we promise. So they've felt the experience. It's simply, what's the promise? And does it make sense to go in a group of one-on-one? Generally, we're a one-on-one. You'll know yours. Name it and claim it. So important. So again, my program's online, Wildly Unbridled, taking horse facilitator from passion to profit. Okay. In facility, it's unbridled. But what is it for you? I was on the Zoom earlier today, and there was Wild Rescue Angels was one. Really impactful for her. It's going to be impactful for you. There's another one out of Minnesota, I believe, and it's Equine Epiphany. Love it. For her, it's about the epiphany. That's the promise. That's the experience that they give. Okay. What is it for you? And it just has to resonate to you and create a story that you can tell. So you can start cutting through the noise. So you either are the noise or you cut through the noise. And so leaning into, again, your archetypes, your gifts, your strengths, that shadow side, not lean into, but be aware of. It's so, so important that at the base of this work, we know who we are, so we can show up in that authentic place to build a wildly successful but significant horse facilitated business at the crossroads of the zone of genius. That when you lean in far enough, that's where you spark. That's where you're best in the world. That's how you help create transformation and change in your clients. So visibility that feels right. Okay. So now that we've got a program, okay, and understand so many, again, this progress over perfection piece, you have a program. Pause this, spend half an hour. If you've got that archetype base and you got the genius base where we talk about incompetence up to competence, you have a base. Okay. Just get started. Clarity is going to come along the way. If you're in Wildly Unbridled, it's going to come. Don't worry. You've got 3 months. I guarantee it's coming. Where you start now and where you end up can be very big gap, but it's all those same basic pieces when you're working with what you're the best in the world at. And so visibility that feels right. This is marketing. How does your archetype, how do you want to show up that best of you? Again, in my earlier Zoom, I heard confidence was a big one, pride. I want to, I just want to show up. Nurturers, you might, visibility isn't one size fits all. We all do this different. So nurturers love to tell stories, personal stories. That's how it feels right to them. They can make other people feel safe if you're a good nurturer. And that's, again, you're not forcing that to be your top archetypes. It is your top archetypes. So nurturers can be great at telling stories and telling stories to make other people feel safe. That's huge, right? And so understanding as well is that this is not about your shadow side stories. This is about congruence, okay? Alchemists, you're all about transformation. And so as a transformation creator, your content has to align with that. So if you're marketing that business and marketing a transformational program, you got to be telling the stories of transformational content, right? It's got to be bold. So getting that out there. Mavericks, bold challenges, right? That's the piece is, your program itself is going to be edgy. It's going to be bold. There's a essential risk and bucking the rules. It's important for Mavericks. And so that's the piece that you're teaching in your facility and you're working with in your program. Your marketing needs to reflect that. In an earlier Zoom with coaching with some of the Unbridled or some of the Wildlies, we were talking about this and somebody said that their visibility is showing up by sharing success stories and that it's about confidence for them, but the confidence comes from sharing success stories. Great. this piece for her, this in the sucking confidence was just start showing up by telling the success stories that happen in her pasture and with her ponies, And so choose one. The whole thing is that fortune favors the brave, the bold, the ones who get going. Okay. You just built the framework that has the ability to take you anywhere you want to go and fully fill your calendar in horse facilitated development, but you got to take the step. And so one visibility move this week that aligns. So what is it? You're going to get out and, you're going to change that website that has a bunch of old stuff on it that you are never going to do, that is not aligned, that's soul sucking to you. This business is never going to grow in soul sucking ways, I guarantee. Is it that you need to just launch this program and get it out and say, hey, I've launched Wildly Unbridled. This is what it is. It's for these people. This is what it solves. Super excited. Reach out. What's the visibility? Maybe nobody even knows you do this work because you're still in the infancy and you're waiting for somebody to give you the gold star and crown you good enough. It ain't coming. That gold star is not coming. That's it's a really bad ingrained piece in us from childhood that's not happening. You're the only person that can do it. And so it's like, crown yourself now and get moving. And it's time to get going, make it real. And so commit to 3 things, and 3 things before next session. So if you're in Wildly before next session, or in your world, commit to 3 things in your offer. And I should take off even if it's a draft, because take it off that's a draft. This is your clarity point as of today. Okay, so as of today, your program is called Equine Epiphany. And again, that one's already taken. But your program is called Equine Encounters. Your program is called this. It's Phoenix Rising. It's whatever it is. This is who it's for. This is what we're doing. Okay, share it with 3 people in the next 48 hours. You're doing this. It's launching this day, or your one-on-ones are starting now. Share it with 3 people and take aligned action. That what you say, what you want, what you do are all aligned, and start to get specific on this. Here's the thing. I had a coach I've always had a coach. And so along the way, I had a coach named Jason. And I remember okay, so what's your commitments for next week? And I was in real estate at the time. And I said, I don't even know. I want to get 2 listings and I want to get, 3 appointments and close the sale. I don't know, something. And I remember he looked at me. I was young. I was, probably 19 or something. And he says, we'll see. And I remember being so offended. But you know what? This piece changed my life. It took me from having a hobby that would cost me like a hobby to running a business that paid me like one. And it's done that in every single business sense. So if you hear nothing else, hear this. Commitments are based on results. And so when he said, we'll see, he had no idea if I was making a commitment that day until the following week, when I showed up and I either got those, I don't know what it was, 2 listings, 3 appointments, 2 sales, whatever it is, or I didn't. Because we are so much more powerful than we allow ourselves to be. Think about the parent whose car rolls on the child, and somehow miraculously, they have the strength to get that car off the child. We are so much strong when we start putting our feet to the fire. When we make the decision, come hell or high water, it's happening. And so what are your commitments that based on results, we will know next week that you made the commitment? So if you're in Wildly Unbridled, I want to know in the Slack channel, okay? What is it for you? Throw it in there. What is the commitment you're making today? Very specific. There's me a part of you that doesn't want to get specific or doesn't want to set the goals. Understand that, again, fear has a grip. And the thing about fear, in the now, this is Eckhart Tolle, in the now, problems do not exist. Fear does not exist. Find the place of presence. What do you want? You are here to create an impact so much bigger than yourself. And you're allowing fear to stand in from where you are to the impact and the significance you want to create. And the reality about that impact and significance, it not only fills your calendar, turns that passion, that horse that changed your life, that best part of you, that passion into profit. It's like the world is waiting for you, but you got to start to make some decisions. And so you're not here to build a cookie cutter business. And in reality, in the horse world, cookie cutter will never work. Why? Because horses are based on congruence. Horse work is based on congruence. And the only way you build a congruent business, a horse facilitated business, is by showing up authentically every single day in those archetypes, those gifts, those strengths, those we help you find, we help you lean into, we coach you on every single week. Lean into those, truly own them, and step up. And so your archetypes are your roadmap. That best part of you, that fuel in your tank, your genius is the blueprint, the spark that makes it happen. And so the world is looking for what you have to offer. Who are you to not show up? If you're in Wildly, I want to see it in the Wins channel. What are you committing to? And when you nail that in the next 7 days, we want to celebrate that success with you. We want to see you grow and we want to help you grow. Again, profit filling your calendar. So what's the stretch? What's the piece that come hell or high water? I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to start showing up. That's what I want to know. So we want to see it in there. If you've just stumbled upon this, you found us on YouTube or you found us on Instagram and you're going, that's what I want. I want to build a business that keeps me out of burnout, that truly brings the best of me shared with my herd, where we can start to provide those pieces in the world that I don't even know yet that I'm the best in the world at. Reach out. I'll put it down below, a link to my Calendly, where you can just simply, all you have to do is check in there, find a time. It's going to come up in your own time zones. Pick a time that works. We'll get on and we'll go through what does that 12-week mentorship look for, and how are we going to turn your business, this, for some of you, this hobby that you're, wanting to be a business, and turn that passion into profit and fill your calendar in the next 90 days. I can't wait to chat with you.